could Lamar Jackson finish strong and catch him? Is Saquon Barkley in the mix? All these things. Right now, there's no one playing better.
Jeffrey?
Y'all know where I sit on Saquon.
Yeah.
Saquon Barkley. I mean,
Saquon
I love him. He played great. They lost.
Yeah.
Saquon, they lost. Saquon just keeps balling. They keep winning.
Wait a minute.
They lost. 6 didn't help. Golly. 42 wasn't 44. It just happens. Give it to Saquon.
Oh, my goodness.
Set a record. Let's go. Stop giving it to QBs all the time. What's the QB award? The Maxwell Award? What's the QB?
The Davey O'Brien?
No, go back and give them those. Give them those. Okay. I want that. Give the MVP to a running back.
Let's go back to Wall Street. Cross, whose stock is down coming off of Week 14?
All the haters that picked the Chargers over the Chiefs last Friday as I was sitting here telling about how the Chiefs are going to win. They're like, well, how are the Chiefs going to beat them? And I said, I don't know. I just know that they are. And I was correct. Because they beat it with banking in a field goal at the last second, because this is what the Chiefs do. They find a way. They are 12-1. I don't get it, but that some teams know how to win. And
ricochet field goal.
Okay, so one of those people remains Rex Ryan, and I sit next to him on Sundays and on Mondays.
Yeah.
And he continues to point out, and it's not nonsense. I mean, look, the reality is they just keep finding more preposterous ways to win every single week.
Yeah.
Everything everyone's saying is true.
Right.
Like, they're not impressive. They are skating by. I don't know how they're winning these games. But the fact of the matter is they are. And at some point, you've got to look and say, like, I mean, yes, the doink in the field goal, but Mahomes makes, otherworldly plays to get them in field goal range.
So the question, the only question that matters there's only one question that matters about the Chiefs. Does it catch up to them? Neek, will this catch up to them? They have one goal and one goal only, and that is to become the first team in the Super Bowl era to three-peat. Anything short of that, with what they have established there, is a disappointment, if not a failure. Yeah. In your view, will these close calls eventually catch up to them?
I absolutely think it will catch up to them at some point. Obviously, Aaron and Graz is going to point out, and everyone's going to point out, it doesn't catch them. They're going to have home field advantage. They're going to have first round bye. Yes, they could continue to win. But I will say that the way that they are playing it leaves a lot to be desired. And we all recognize that we can come on and rag on people like me after they win, but Chiefs fans also are concerned. You can pretend like you have all this confidence in the world, but you're also concerned because the one big solution that you thought you were going to have was DJ Humphries to take over that left tackle spot. He came out there and played some, and then he got hurt again. Yeah. The answer's there. And as we talk about how they rise to the occasion every year around the playoffs, there are players that they acquire, and there are things that they adjust. Those players, they're bringing cornerbacks out of retirement to address their secondary. These are issues that have not gone away. Last year, you can say they addressed those issues. They haven't addressed them fully yet.
Well, they've tried, right? They tried. They tried. It just hasn't done it.
Does it catch up to them or not?
I don't think it catches up. I mean, I'm one of those believers, they find ways to win. And whether you like them or hate them or whatever, every other team, it seems to show up except for the Chiefs, right? And so you're going to have to go into and beat them in the playoffs. That's a lot easier to talk about how they play than go in and actually accomplish it, especially as the weather gets worse and they understand the home field. That's a tough place to play. I played there in playoffs. It is insanely loud. It makes it much more difficult. And you have one of the greatest coaches of all time and one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. It's just hard to take them, to unseat them.
The question is, how much more than that do they have? Yeah. And does it carry them all the way again?
They answer in the affirmative every single year. Yeah. Everyone's got problems. The Chiefs are the best at overcoming their problems.
Will this be the year it catches up to them? We're going to have to wait and find out. Back to the stock market report. Jeff, give me someone else whose stock is up right now.
Ooh, Sam Darnold. How about 5 tuds and only 6 incompletions? Are we serious? He had 2 receivers over 130 yards. He's got DBs lost and falling down in the backfield. Look right there. I mean, he's playing Kirk Cousins, who they shipped out of town. He was the backup and then played lights out. This kid, his stock is up.
Okay, so that brings up the really interesting question. This is a team that invested a high first-round draft pick and a quarterback this past year in J.J. McCarthy, who by all accounts looked really good, in whatever it was he was able to do in camps and things like that before he gets hurt. If you're them, are you signing Sam Darnold right now long-term?
Pay him. That's my response is always to pay him. I know I'm risk-adverse when it comes to this, and this is an organization that moved on from Kirk Cousins and got better. And they added what's the guy from New York? Danny
Daniel
Dimes.
Jones.
Daniel
Danny
Jones.
Dimes. So maybe they imagine that they can do it again next year. The idea that you can have a guy playing this well and you're not going to lock him up, to me, shows a lot of confidence, a lot more confidence in bordering on arrogance in your coaching ability.
Wow.
But
I keep getting the sense from Shefty, Graz, that they're not going to do it.
No chance.
I can't believe they're not going to do
No
it.
chance.
But I asked Shefty on Sunday over and over again. He keeps saying he does not expect that.
They took the kid 12th overall,
Yeah.
McCarthy. Like, he's going to be the quarterback at some point, and ideally soon. I think they were ready to start Darnold this season when McCarthy was healthy, but they planned to move on to McCarthy during the season. Now, is McCarthy going to be ready? And are you going to need someone to execute that plan again? And is that going to be Sam Darnold? Could you franchise him? Theoretically, but you want to put $42 million on your books for next year to franchise Sam Darnold?
Right.
I think that there's talk around that team about, like, do you want to let a 27-year-old quarterback that just had this kind of season walk out the door and get nothing? I would argue that if you get in the playoffs and win some games and make a run with them, you got something. Like that and don't get tricked, right? There's a lot of other evidence about Sam Darnold and whether this is going to last long term. So they have the investment in J.J. McCarthy. I think you thank Sam Darnold for his service, and you wish him well on the free agent market, where I think he'll do extremely well.
Yes.
And then you try and find next year's Sam Darnold, whether that be Daniel Jones or somebody else, and you trust your coaching staff
100%.
to execute that plan while you develop J.J. McCarthy.
I agree with you.
Fascinating to
I agree
see
with
how
you.
that thing goes. Let's do one more stock market report. Dominique, give me someone else whose stock is.
Welcome to John Crowder's show. Thanks for tuning in. I'm back again with another sports show, joining you live from a spot here in the Battery, Atlanta, Georgia. If you ever get time, come check us out. Want to make sure you understand that if you want to see some of the most up-to-date clips, shows, Stephen A. Smith, First Take, Pat McAfee, go ahead and tune in. Every day we're dropping clips and even live shows. So take the time to go ahead, like, subscribe, and even share this content. We're going to be pushing out a lot of content to you free. And also we're going to be giving away live tickets to sporting events. And we'll be live on set at the NCAA Championship, the Final Four. And also we'll be live at the Super Bowl this year. So if you want to win free tickets, make sure you like and subscribe and stay tuned. Put the alert bell on. We're going to keep you up to date with NFL, MLB, soccer, baseball, hockey, all sports, and even giving you free picks on parlays that we hit very often. So go ahead and stay locked in, because if you blink, you'll miss it. Again, I'm John Crowder, and thanks for tuning in. What are some of the most iconic sports for you as far as moments? One of the most iconic sports moments for me was definitely when the Falcons lost the Super Bowl. Even though I'm a Falcons fan, it was heartbreaking, but it was definitely memorable. So that was one of the most memorable, ugliest moments for me as a sports fan. Go ahead and drop in the chat what your most memorable moment in sports was, and we'll be sure to comment and respond to that. One other thing, we definitely want to let you know that we do have sports picks, and we will be putting them in the chat. Our sports picks come with a lot of knowledge, a lot of historical data, and just a lot of professionalism. So if you want to start hitting some of those bets, make sure you follow our picks, and we'd definitely like to help you out on that. All right, this channel is completely free. We don't have any sponsors, so make sure you like, subscribe, and share this to get more content like this and to help us put out more content. Again, I'm John Crowder, and I'm joining you live from the Battery in Atlanta. Stay tuned for more episodes, more shows, and more content.